The next force is called feeling regret about reactive state of mind and destructive actions. Here again we have to dissociate on one side what we call guiltiness and the other side what we call regret. Regret is one of the 5 forces we have to develop in order to understand deeply what wrong we have done, what wrong we are doing, to avoid create wrong again in the future. Guiltiness is not healthy, as it bugs our mind, as constantly it depreciates ourselves and self-inflict useless torment of the mind and suffering. So let aside guiltiness and let's develop this capacity to regret what we have done wrong with the correct motivation to improve ourselves and avoid doing wrong again. What is ridiculous and harmful is when we do something wrong and we try to argue how actually it was not that wrong because we saw it in this way or we saw it in that way, and the motivation was not this and the motivation was not that. The worst even is not when we do this towards somebody else who has pointed the mistake, but when we try to do it for our own, for ourselves. It is a skill to recognize that we are not doing something right and to put an end to it. Because sometimes we recognize we are doing something wrong, but we don't stop it. This is also ridiculous. Okay, it takes time, some time, to stop doing wrong. But we have to develop, to generate the motivation to work upon whatever actions, thoughts, behavior we are engaging ourselves into and that we recognize as not beneficial, neither for our path, neither for the others. This is about regret, about reactive state of mind. What does it mean, reactive state of mind? It means these kinds of habits that we have let to develop, or that we have even developed voluntarily at some point, which can be anger, which can be desire, which can be attachment, which can be jealousy or whatever else, whatever other disturbing emotions, which are popping up in reaction to what we observe with our 6 senses, the 5 physical senses and the mental sense. We see something which is desirable, pleasant. It doesn't mean we have to jump on it with our mind, not to even think about jumping on directly physically and try to obtain a grab. We have to operate a better understanding of our mind, a better understanding of our thoughts, and know what we should let to develop and what we should refrain from developing, what we should engage into and what we should refrain from engaging into. We have to develop patience as a cornerstone for our path. Patience. I see something popping up in my mind. I don't necessarily jump into it. I don't try to put it into action immediately. I wait and see. I observe. I analyze. I check the motivation. I check the different emotions which are under these thoughts before to pass into act. It's not because we have a thought of anger or thought of desire that we have to let such thoughts to develop widely and to follow them. We can think about, we can take some time. Without patience, it's difficult to control the mind. Without patience, it's difficult to progress on the path. Without patience, often we get frustrated, dissatisfied by our own path, by our own life, because we might have set a goal and it takes time to reach that goal. If we are not patient enough, we can get discouraged. So patience is a very important virtue, very important perfection to develop. So whenever we can observe that our mind tends to engage into any of these reactive states, into this reactive emotion, let's give a little bit of time to it, to analyze, to observe, eventually to tame when it is necessary. And when we observe, recognize that it was not that good, then let's regret what we have done as a power to avoid to do it again. Let's be honest, it's not because we regret it that it won't happen again. Then we need patience, because again and again we might have to regret about what we are doing, conscious that we are of not doing good, right, at one specific moment or period of time. It does not exclude to become better and better along the line. And we need patience for that.